Modern Australia is a separate continent inhabited by a large number of unique animals. Many of them are extremely dangerous predators, using not only teeth and claws, but also poisonous glands. In the era of the dinosaurs, these territories were connected with other lands and were inhabited by the same predatory and herbivorous lizards related to the species found on other continents. Unfortunately, the animal world of Australia of that period has not been studied so well, but scientists know something about some predators, including quite large ones. Today, we will introduce you to the most studied carnivorous dinosaurs of the Australian continent. By subscribing to our channel, you will be the first to know about the release of new videos and leave your comments under them, communicating with other viewers and promoting the video according to the platform's algorithms. You can also help the creators of the channel by marking the material you like with the help of likes. Now, most of the Australian continent is covered with rocky deserts, but at the time of the dinosaurs, these vast territories were green jungles and were very swampy. They were inhabited by a species of lizards, mostly classic long-necked sauropods and other herbivore species, as well as bipedal theropods of various sizes that preyed on them. The most studied predator that lived in Australia during the time of the dinosaurs is the Australovenator. Its name means Australian hunter. It is one of the largest Cretaceous carnivorous pangolins found on this continent. The remains at the disposal of scientists are about 95 million years old. It is believed that the maximum length of this monster is about 6 meters, height up to 2 meters, and weight from 500 to 1,000 kilograms. In 2005, the femur of a large sauropod was discovered in Queensland. The excavations carried out at the place of discovery made it possible to find the well-preserved remains of this herbivorous giant from the group of Titanosaurus and a large predatory theropod buried with it. Both skeletons were examined by a team of scientists led by Scott Hockle in 2009. The predator turned out to be a previously unknown species and became the best preserved skeleton of a carnivorous dinosaur found on the territory of the Australian continent. At the disposal of the researchers was the lower jaw, fore and hind limbs, ribs, as well as scattered teeth and individual small bones. This new dinosaur was first declared to be related to Predatory and assigned to the appropriate family. Later, it was assigned to the Megaraptoid family. Also, the discovery of this predator allowed scientists to more accurately determine the belongings of some of their earlier finds. In particular, the ankle bone, found in 1981 and thought to be the bone of a dwarf species of Allosaurus, was assigned as a yet unknown species that was the ancestor of the Australovenator. An important distinguishing feature of this lizard is its extremely mobile forelimbs, which are considered its main weapon. The radius and ulna of this dinosaur moved independently from each other, as they do in modern birds. Australovenator's front legs could bend at an angle from 66 to 144 degrees. He also had very mobile fingers. It is believed that traces of this giant are present in the famous Running Dinosaur National Park, located in Queensland. Raptor or Raptor. It is a little-known species of Australian dinosaurs from the Cretaceous period. It is known from a single find made back in the early 20th century and described in 1932. The remains were found in Wollaston in South Wales. The structure of this part of the finger made it possible to attribute the new dinosaur to theropods from the Megaraptoid family. Despite the fact that the name of this lizard means predator, scientists know almost nothing about its lifestyle, habits, and diet. The dimensions of the raptor were obtained by comparing the only available bone with a similar bone of the Australovenator. Such a comparison led to the conclusion that this predator could reach a length of 9 meters and a height of 3 meters. Its mass could have been up to 3 tons. True, some researchers believe that the identification of the raptor as a separate species was made erroneously, and the found bones belong to the Australovenator. But The age of this find is 10 million years older than all known remains of Australovenator. Ozraptor. This dinosaur is the only known predator species that lived in Australia during the Jurassic geological period. It is known from one incomplete hind leg bone, but this discovery, which is between 175 and 180 million years old, was enough for scientists to figure out some of the features of the dinosaur. Scientists believe that the length of the dinosaur could have been about 3 meters. The researchers also suggest that the Ozraptor was quite lightly built and could develop a high running speed. A similar structure of the hind limbs is observed in the more studied Dromaeosaurus that lived in North America, and he is one of the fastest hunters among all known dinosaurs. The origin of the name of the species is interesting. This phrase is the colloquial name of one of the Australian lizards. Valgettosuchus. Almost nothing is known about this dinosaur, and many scientists even question its existence as a separate species. Everything we know about this dinosaur is the conclusions of researchers who have done studies of a single fragment of the caudal vertebral center. The size of this find is only 63 millimeters. Based on the fossil, scientists were able to suggest that Valgettosuchus was a relative of either Ornithomum or Allosaurus. Researchers do not even have a consensus on whether this lizard was predatory or omnivorous. There is no exact data on either of his appearance or size. The only thing there is no doubt about is that the owner of the found vertebrae wandered around Australia at the very beginning of the Cretaceous period. The animal world of the Australian continent in the era of the dinosaurs is still fraught with many secrets. Scientists have yet to discover many of the species that lived in the area at that time. Dinosaur remains are found in a variety of places. Sometimes these discoveries are quite surprising. Not so long ago, information appeared that a worthy competitor to such monsters as the T-Rex, Tarbosaurus, or Gigantosaurus lived in Australia. Traces of this dinosaur were found in several states on the ceilings of coal mines in the middle of the late century. But until recently, no one was engaged in their analysis. And when paleontologist Anthony Romilo from the University of Queensland was finally able to analyze the prints, the results became a real sensation. Researchers believe that these footprints belong to a giant theropod that lived in Australia at the end of the Jurassic between 151 and 165 million years ago. That's 100 million years before the appearance of the Tyrannosaurus. Basically, the length of the prints of the hind legs is 50 to 60 centimeters, but the largest of them reach a length of 80 centimeters. From this, scientists have drawn conclusions that the maximum length of the lizard could be about 10 meters. Despite the fact that the T-Rex is much larger than this dinosaur, for its time, it was a real giant. Perhaps it was the largest predator of the period. According to the available traces, scientists were able to calculate the possible speed of its movement. It could potentially reach 35 kilometers per hour, which is not so little for dinosaurs. This little-studied Carnivorous is thought to have been related to the Allosaurus. This means that representatives of this family occupied the uppermost steps of the food pyramid of the late Jurassic and early Cretaceous periods throughout the planet. We express our deep gratitude to the viewers who watched our video to the end. If you're interested in the topics, then we advise you to pay attention to the other materials on our channel, which tell more about the predators of the dinosaur era